Hi folks, welcome back to the deep dive. It's Andy here with the 3-note pattern video. This isn't like the 2-note pattern video but with an extra note added. It's a separate pattern, but we're going to be combining the 2-note pattern with our thumb, a 3-note pattern in our index finger to give us a foundation for some improvisation options. And once we've got that down, we can expand the range of our index finger to incorporate all of these notes. We'll incorporate that one. So we've got the whole treble register covered against all of our left-hand improvisation options. So yeah, this video's unlocking the instrument, taking it to a new level for you. Hope you enjoy it. If we look at the left-hand part from the previous few videos, some of you, if you've just arrived here, you might recognise this as a left-hand part from a traditional variation of Name Me Sasa. Nice one. We've got the 2-note pattern using notes 1s and 2s. Really simple pattern. That's going to give our right thumb a job while we've got another job going on for our right index finger, which is going to be this 3-note pattern. It shares the same rotational symmetry that the 2-note pattern has. We're going to get into that in a little bit, but let me just demonstrate it to you first. Awesome. So we're going to be choosing note options for the thumb and the index finger and mixing it up a little bit. Once we've got that independence, then we can start to explore a wider range of notes, but it's best that we start off with a smaller range so you're not sort of taking on too much all at once. Awesome. But how are you going to remember all these notes? I'm going to ask you to grab a pen and paper in a second, and we're going to jot them down in a way that's going to reveal some patterns in the music that hopefully you'll find fascinating. If you don't, then at least you'll have a chart that's handy for you so you can work through these exercises and build up your independence. Yeah, but possibly it's going to blow your mind. So I'll pause for a second, you grab a pen and paper. Okie dokes, welcome back. What I want you to do with your pen and paper then is across the top of the page, write the notes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 equally spaced from left to right. Leave a little gap at the left hand side so you can write down the chords. We're going to end up with a sort of grid that you can fill out with note options. It'll give you a new way of thinking about the music as well if you haven't done this kind of thing before. And yes, it can reveal some amazing patterns. So across the top of your page, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Nice. And then down the left hand side, we're going to write the chords that we're really familiar with now, equally spaced. 4, 6, 1. I'll repeat this after, I'll go through it a second time. So starting with 4, 6, 1, 4, 6, 2, 4, 7, 2, 5, 7, 2. This is maybe a new thing for you. Give it a go, and it's going to give you this handy little chart and expose some amazing patterns in the music. So again, from top to bottom, our chords: 4, 6, 1, 4, 6, 2, 4, 7, 2, 5, 7, 2. Excellent. So we've got a little sort of grid now. Chords coming in from the left, notes coming in from the top. And in this space here, we're going to plot out some different note options. The easiest one for us to begin with is going to be our 2-note pattern, and against each of the chords on the left we're going to find a corresponding note from our notes 1 and 2. For our first chord, chord 4, I want you to put underneath note 1 a little cross or a number 1. If your chart's looking a bit messy already, probably go for the numbers. If you've written it really clear, then crosses is going to be good enough. But yeah, I'll just say the number. So our first chord, chord 4, you're going to write underneath note 1 a 1. Our next chord, chord 6, you're going to write under note 1 another 1. And we're going to carry on writing note 1s down for the first 5 chords, because note 1 is played once, twice, 3 times, 4 times and 5 times. I'm playing pairs there, but let's just say that note matches up with each of those first 5 chords. Cool. And then for our 6th chord, right underneath the 2, 2 or a little cross if you're going for crosses, then you end up with sort of wonky L shape that you're going to see rotated 180 degrees for the second half of the song. And that's our rotational symmetry that I kind of illustrated with my hands in the 2-note pattern video. We're going to see the similar pattern against our 4s, 5s and 6s, sorry. We're going to be choosing from these 2 rotationally symmetric patterns, stacking them together in a really beautiful exercise. Nice one. So our 7th chord in the series is going to be chord 4, and we're playing a note 1 again. And then our last 5 chords, we play note 2. So reading down your column, you have note 1, 2nd time, 3rd time, 4th time, 5th time, note 2, note 1, and then note 2 5 times. Note 1, 2nd time, 3rd time, 4th time, 5th time, note 2, note 1, and note 2, 2nd time, 3rd time, 4th time, and 5th time. Excellent. So you should see now in that little list there this sort of rotational symmetry. If I had an extra finger on each hand, I could show you that there's a note 1, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th time. That's our note 1 hand. A note 2, another note 1, and then with an extra finger here, note 2, 2nd time, 3rd time, 4th time, and 5th time. Rotational symmetry, or retrograde inversion. So another way of referring to it. You can flip this pattern 180 degrees and it would sound the same backwards. We're going to find the same feature now in our 3-note pattern. By the time you've written this down, we're going to have all the note options for all these exercises. It's just going to release your hand. Totally recommend doing this. It's going to unlock some magic for you. So underneath, against our first chord, chord 4, in the right hand, underneath note 4, I want you to put your little number 4 or a cross. So it matches up with our first note 1 as well, from our 2-note pattern. So underneath our 4, a little 4 or a little cross against our first chord. Our next chord, chord 6, you're going to put a 6. And our next chord, chord 1, you're going to put a 5. So our first 3 note options there in our 3-note pattern, our index finger, are 4, 6 and 5. Our next 3 are 4, 6 and 6. Yeah, so our first 6 note options in the index finger are 4, 6, 5, 4, 6 and 6. We're halfway through now, so the pattern that you see there, if you flipped it 180 degrees, you'd end up with the same pattern, underneath. So let's go through from chord 7 now. From the 7th chord in the series, which is chord 4. We're going to be playing note 4 again. And then the next chord, chord 7, is a 4. Our next chord, chord 2, is a 6. Next chord, chord 5, is a 5. I'll read through this whole lot again in a second, just to check you've got it all right. Our next chord, chord 7, is a 4. And our last chord, chord 2, is a 6. So let me just speak through the notes that you've got listed now underneath your 4s, 5s and 6s. 4, 6, 5, 4, 6, 6, 4, 4, 6, 5, 4, 6. Awesome. So just before we start stacking these notes together and opening up your right hand freedom, can you see towards the middle of the song there, underneath our 4s, 5s and 6s, the 5th and 6th chord are both 6s, the 7th and 8th chord are both 4s, so we've got this sort of 2 pairs of notes, and you could kind of imagine a central point in between them and rotate the whole song around there, or the whole load of note options, and you'd end up with the same pattern. Either side of those, you've got our 6s, 5s and 4s that appear in our cascade that we've been practicing over the last couple of weeks, and then sort of outlier notes, a 4 over here and a 6 over here. We've got that rotational symmetry in the whole song. There's a way of playing the cascade as well, all the way down, that's got rotational symmetry. if you start on the high 1 and go down to the low 2, go back up to the high 1 and down to the low 2, that's got rotational symmetry as well. If you play through the song structure, 4/6/1, 4/6/2 and so on. Another rotationally symmetric pattern. We're playing that in the root notes in our left hand when we play, sorry, the bass notes. Do you remember our low pattern from the 4-finger freedom? We're going to take an idea from that video and explore it over here now. So where we were playing highs and lows, lows and highs, lows and lows, and highs and highs, sorry. We're going to consider our 2-note pattern played by the thumb as lows, our right hand lows. We're going to consider the 3-note pattern as our right hand highs, so we can play low, 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 low. Or we could play high, 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 high. I'm sure you can see where this is going. Or we could play low highs. So this is where your little chart's going to come in really handy. So for our first chord, chord 4, if you have a look along your chart, you're going to see you can play note 1s and note 4s. Let's play a 1 and a 4. For chord 6, you can play a 1 and a 6. Chord 1, you can play a 1 and a 5. So we're going low, high, yeah, choosing from the 2-note pattern and the 3-note pattern. Across the whole song. I'm playing quite fast there. There's going to be a speed at which this is possible for you. And if you've got your chart there, you've got some extra sort of support information. We could play high lows. And once you've got low lows down, high highs down, low highs and high lows, you've started to unlock your independence, your ability to make quick note choices in your thumb and index finger. And you'll be at a point where you can start to introduce a wider range of notes. I'm chucking quite a lot at you quite quickly. Where we've got to now in the video is a really great point. Like, you might want to pause and just explore that. But let me chuck in this extra idea so you know where it's going and you can explore this at a later point in time. Over the past few weeks, we've been playing this cascade in our right hand. We've been calling it the low cascade because it goes all the way down to the low note 1. If you don't play that note 1 and instead you play this higher note 1, and if you don't play this note 2, instead you play this higher note 2, we've restricted our range to that 3 all the way up to the 2, and it frees up your thumb to start playing notes down here. So the high cascade, let's have a look at what that sounds like. Popping in our lows, so in our highs is this whole range of notes. We've expanded from our sort of 6/5/4s to include all of those, and we could end up playing something like this: low highs, or high lows. So I got lost there. I was thinking about you could play high highs or low lows. There's so many different ways you can mix it up. And against, now you've got loads in your right hand and loads in your left hand. Those high lows, low highs, low lows, high highs. Our left hand liberation option. I'm not sort of aiming for musicality here, I'm just sort of showing you there's loads of options that are now at your fingertips. High lows in the right hand, high lows in the left hand. A high cascade in the right hand. Yeah, loads of possibilities. So this is kind of an invitation for you to explore, see where it goes. You're going to end up with loads of freedom at your fingertips. There's loads of options there already. I'm kind of sowing seeds here. There's so much potential. I mean, you could now start exploring pairs of notes together at the same time. This is a non-traditional approach, but what if I was to play pairs of notes at every opportunity? Yeah, there's loads of places we can take this, and I don't want to give you too much. I don't want to confuse you too much. So explore 2-note pattern, 3-note pattern, consider them lows and highs, start playing lows and highs and lows, then introduce your notes from your cascade, then put it all against your left hand liberation, 4-beat freedom, complete chord, everything that you've got in your left hand, and enjoy. Thanks so much, everybody. I wish you all the best, and I hope you're singing as well. That video has got me more subscribers than any other video that I've done so far. So yeah, clearly it ticks some boxes for you guys. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. And also, if you're not accessing the bonus deep dive material, in the video description, you can get all of that extra content included in a deep dive subscription, or in the Mbira.online subscription, that's included for free, and you're accessing master Mbira player tutorials, improvisation performances, all with notation from me. Yeah, hopefully explaining things nice and clear so you can advance your playing. And everything that I'm doing, everything that I'm selling, everything that I'm promoting is all geared towards building that Mbira.online, so that I'm creating an income for more and more Zimbabwean musicians. If you've made it this far into the video and you're still listening, I think you've got some enthusiasm about Mbira, and you really ought to be helping me support those guys and building the archive and accessing that material as well. It's super inspirational. So hope to see you in there. Yeah, stay in touch, reach out with any questions, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks very much.